How's it, guys? So this is for the Toyota owners who have high and low idle issues. If they own a 3.4 liter V6, most likely the idle air control. And I'm saying this because I learned this from my experience in my 98 T100. Still wish I had that truck, but after warm up, the idle wouldn't come down, would always stay high. So I always had this high idle, and I was like, yeah, can drive, but I want to address that. So what I learned was the idle air control valve um, is regulated by the air. So this is the valve. That's the valve in there. See that guy? Hello. That guy can get stuck because this is on the bottom of the throttle body. A lot of people don't realize, maybe, or they don't care to maintain, that if you clean your throttle body, that hole that bypasses the butterfly can take in all the residue and carbon and can build up on top of the valve and actually prevents it from opening and closing. Okay, so if some of you guys notice this valve, you might be familiar with it. Something's missing. Is the actual magnetic electrical box that is already preset from the factory, because a lot of times these vehicles don't have an idle adjustment. So right now, if I'd open them like this and I put the magnet on, you can notice the valve going move, because that's the factory setting right there. Yeah. And sometimes, again, like the carbon buildup could cause them to not move. So even the magnet might not even be throwing on code. No more enough power for break the carbon deposits that got built up. So what you gotta do, or what some people do, is they spray them. They only spray inside here, Well, don't realize that you got to actually remove this guy and go in and grab this guy. Make sure you don't crush this guy too tight. So what I had to do was I had to just move him ever so slightly every time. Go inside, spray him, and just kind of play with the valve. Play with the valve. It's almost like removing tartar from your teeth. Break that tartar up, and then the thing will be able to move freely, and you should see a big difference in your startup and warm temperature idle fluctuation. This is a common one. Again, you can drive it with a high and low idle. Maybe sometimes you got a feather. That's something I'm dealing with right now with another vehicle where the idle is low, but you can tell by the thing when the temperature changes. It works, but you notice the idle stays low even on cold start warm up. So you got to feather it right until it reaches normal temperature. So it must be moving, maybe even just a little bit. Okay, but you want normal operation. Coolant, yeah, and air. There's no that. And you got one gasket over here. I reuse my old one, but if you can get your hands on a new one, not gonna cost you that much. But yeah, IAC sometimes doesn't throw a code. Sometimes people say no open this, no pull that. Might mess with the idle, but from my experience, everything went well with it. So I kept it because I kind of knew maybe one day I might find myself with another 3.4 liter, which in this case kind of did. And yeah, it's a good part to have and good thing to know. Just know these screws, I noticed also, they're torqued down pretty well, and they actually what I learned, it has its own import style screw head. So I don't know, I just use my snap-on, add some force, you can hear them crack, and the thing's good to go. So The procedure is pretty simple. You got to remove your intake tube, necessary tubes, and you don't even have to take the throttle body off if you don't want to. Um, if I remember, you can clean your throttle body on the front. Once you pull the whole throttle body off, you can just go right from the bottom because it sits like this, and just pull the plug, and then you can just go ahead and remove the 2 screws, pull that magnet off, and on the vehicle you can kind of play with the valve, you know, and try to break it up. And if you find it loose enough and it wasn't that much build up, you should find no problem. Give it a drive, see how the thing run, and should run good. If not, you see it's still kind of sticky, and maybe you want to maybe spray some throttle body cleaner on the top, then go on from the side and move them around, try to break them up. And or yeah, not that hard to remove the throttle body as long as you got the right tools and the right technique. You can clean the whole throttle body butterfly valve, the back and the front, get all the carbon off, pull the idle air control IAC valve off, and do more of a thorough cleaning. Get all in that valve right there, nice and shiny valve. Yeah, you still have all black carbon all on the top there, and would barely move, would get sticky. So you might see some idle fluctuation, but not the, you know, not the proper functioning of the IAC. So that's your IAC, high idle, low idle. I'm pretty sure this could help. At the same time, you can pull the box off, might as well clean the MAF sensor, doesn't hurt, you know what I mean? Yeah. Due diligence, sometimes we take care of our vehicles more than we take care of ourselves. Not to say don't take care of yourself. First of all, I want to say take care of yourself first before you take care of your vehicle, vice versa. You know, take care of each other, especially if it's on Toyota, you know what I mean? Toyota guys. Okay, shoot.